My name is Joshua Mugabi. I welcome you to Biology Lights. And in this session, we are going to talk about diffusion and osmosis. Containers X and Y each holds 1 liter of air. X also contains 0.4 grams of a gas, and Y contains 0.6 grams of the same gas. The two containers are connected together as shown in the diagram. A. Which way will the gas diffuse? B. After a long period of time, what will be the concentration of the gas in grams per liter in each container? Part A. The gas will diffuse from Y to X, that is, from a region of high concentration to the region of lower concentration. And then part B, eventually the gas will be evenly distributed between the two containers. So each one will contain 0.5 grams per liter. The diagram represents, not on scale, molecules of a salt dissolved in the bottom layer of water in a beaker. Make two similar diagrams to show the distribution of salt molecules. A. After a few minutes, and B. After several hours. The salt molecules will move by diffusion till they are evenly distributed. When a cell is respiring aerobically, which two gases are likely to be diffusing in and out of the cell? And in which direction will they be diffusing? When a cell is respiring aerobically, oxygen will be diffusing into the cell, and carbon dioxide will be diffusing out. The graph shows the concentration of a substance inside and outside a cell. A. If the substance is free to move by diffusion, which way will it move? 1. Inside the cell. 2. Between the cell and the medium outside the cell. A. Part 1. Inside the cell, the substance will diffuse from B to C. That is, down the concentration gradient. Outside, in part B, part 2, if the cell membrane were freely permeable, the substance would diffuse out of the cell from B to A because its concentration inside is greater than that outside. The graph shows the concentration of a substance inside and outside the cell. Part B. If after some hours the concentration has not changed, what assumption would you make about the movement of substance across the cell membrane? Part B. If there is no change in the concentration, you might assume that the substance was not free to diffuse across the cell membrane and was being taken up by active transport and diffusing across the cytoplasm by passive diffusion. Which one of the following is the best definition of osmosis? 1. The movement of water from a concentrated solution to a dilute solution across a partially permeable membrane. 2. The movement of dissolved substances from a concentrated solution to a dilute solution across a partially permeable membrane. 3. The movement of water from a dilute solution to a concentrated solution across a partially permeable membrane. And 4. The uptake of water by a living cell. The best definition of osmosis is part 3. The movement of water from a dilute solution to a concentrated solution across a partially permeable membrane. Which one of the following statement is an acceptable description of diffusion? 1. The movement of water from a concentrated solution to a dilute solution across a partially permeable membrane. 2. The movement of dissolved substance from a concentrated solution to a dilute solution across a partially permeable membrane. 3. The movement of water from a dilute solution to a concentrated solution across a partially permeable membrane. 4. The uptake of water by a living cell. The description for diffusion, at least in solution, is part 2. The movement of a substance from a concentrated solution to a dilute solution. The partially permeable membrane is not essential for diffusion to occur. The diagram shows a vessel which contains a concentrated and a dilute solution separated by a partially permeable membrane. Draw a similar diagram to show the liquid level after an hour or 2. There will be a rise in level on the right and a corresponding fall on the left as water passes from the dilute to the concentrated solution by osmosis. Which statement is correct? A. A concentrated solution has a high osmotic potential, water potential. B. A concentrated solution has a low osmotic potential, water potential. B. A concentrated solution has low osmotic potential because it contains effectively fewer free water molecules than a dilute solution. The drawing shows the outline of a human cell. Copy the drawing and make 2 further drawings to show how the cell would appear if it were to be immersed for a few minutes in a solution with A. A lower osmotic potential, water potential, than its own cytoplasm. A. Lower osmotic potential cell loses water to more concentrated solution. A drawing shows the outline of a cell. Copy the drawing and make a drawing to show how the cell would appear if it were to be immersed for a few minutes in a solution with B. A higher osmotic potential, water potential, than its own cytoplasm. B. Higher osmotic potential, water potential, cell gains water from more dilute solution. Why is it important that a cell membrane does not allow all dissolved substances to diffuse freely through it? If the cell membrane were freely permeable, harmful substances could diffuse in and useful substances could diffuse out. The concentration of the tissue fluid, which bathes all cells in the body, is kept more or less constant. Why is this important? If the tissue fluid become more dilute, the cells would absorb water by osmosis and swell up. If the tissue fluid become more concentrated, the cells would lose water by osmosis, shrink, and become dehydrated, possibly to a point where metabolism was no longer possible. When meat is salted, bacteria cannot grow on it. Suggest a reason for this. The salt lowers the meat's osmotic potential so that water is withdrawn by osmosis from bacterial cytoplasm and so kills the bacteria. Hello friends, thank you very much for attending to Biology Lights. Please, I do encourage you to subscribe.